My 2-year-old was in organ failure until we put her on the carnivore diet. My daughter was born with a rare and terminal genetic disease called MMIHS. When she was very little, she was put on TPN, which is basically soy injected straight into your veins with sugar to keep you alive because she tolerated pretty much nothing through her gut. She had a little bit of motility, but not enough to digest food and push it through efficiently enough to provide her with nutrition. So she ended up on TPN. She had 16 surgeries. We followed everything the doctors told us to do. We followed their dietary recommendations, we followed their medication recommendations, and she was dying. At 2.5 years old, she was diagnosed with intestinal failure, and everyone knew there wasn't much more she could handle in terms of surgeries and procedures because it was getting more and more brutal. Her body was full of scar tissue, and she was having surgery like every month. All those 16 surgeries happened within a year. Then, we put her on the no plant gaps diet, which is a version of the carnivore diet. Within 2 months, she gained 10 pounds. She came out of intestinal failure, and yes, we were able to feed her through her gut. So we started with very, very small amounts of the food. And because there was nothing fermentable, there was no gas. So her very slow intestines were able to push everything through effectively. We figured out that the gas is what was causing these pseudo-obstructions. She had chronic intestinal pseudo-obstruction as part of her diagnosis. So it's when the gut literally just stops working. She turned into a different child, and she has been thriving ever since. It's been 3 years. I've had another researcher reach out to me from Harvard, and we are hopefully going to publish her case with him and show not only her case, but these other children families who have reached out to me through social media that we've met around the world who have also done this with the same diagnosis and seen the same success that we have seen. So we are going to move forward and we're going to keep spreading the message that food can heal, even in the worst of situations, and doctors don't know everything. And in the most hopeless of situations, things can turn around.
Raise your hand if your sex life got better on carnivore.
Woo! Come on, Island marriage.
Come on now. There ain't no denying. I was like, whoa, I could do that. You know, it's not even about the action. It's about just that feeling.
Cut the noise, I keep it clean. No sugar in my bloodstream. Fuel on fire, razor sharp. Every move is set to start. Strip it back, feel the weight. Heartbeat locked, I don't hesitate. Meet in motion, feel it roll. Feed the drive, control the soul. No distraction, pure devotion. Move your body, meet in motion. Yeah.
I'll be back.
No crash, no fade, no drag. Energy I never lack. Simple rules, heavy step. Every breath is paid in reps. Hands up now, feel that pull. When you're fed right, you move full. Meet that motion, feel it roll. Feed the drive, control the soul. No distractions, pure devotion. Move your body, make in motion.
Watching all the comments about this has been fascinating. I've seen everything. It's
conspiracy theories, politics, right versus left, vegan screaming, people saying all food is processed, Bible problems, tinfoil hats, all of it. Here's the thing.
No guilt, no cage, just rhythm and rain. Beat in motion, feel it roll, feed the drive, control the soul, lock it in, feel the devotion. Everybody, make that motion.
Well, we got a stomper of a show today, guys. I'm excited about it. We've got a little thing we're going to try. We got Mark has been on the radio, and we're going to dissect how that went. I know we're going to give him a chance to explain, and we've gone through it, and I have a lot to say about it. I'm sure Peter does too. Peter has some things to say about allulose and GLP-1. We're going to find out what his little experiment was. Dr. Peter's in the house, and of course, we're going to go through rapid fire 7 lies they keep telling us about meat. We're getting into today. Welcome to the meat of the matter, everybody. It is Sunday.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking.
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
That it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Looking forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you can ever do for yourself.
Well, it is Sunday, boys. We are here. This is the meat of the matter. We are here every Sunday live, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in Netherlands and in continental Europe. And it's been a hell of a week after our last show, doing a show about the food guidelines. A lot of people freaking out, which is, I think a positive because people actually jarred into thinking. We all have our ideas. Mark, Peter, you had your experiment this week, or how long have you been doing it?
For 2 weeks now, I think. And it had really some interesting results. I'm very happy with it. So I'm actually eating sugar now. But let's talk about the details. I'm not following a true sugar diet, of course.
Okay. And Mark, you went on a radio show in Ireland, and when you sent that to us, to Peter and I, when I was listening to it, all these cliches come rolling back. But I think there was some stuff that was maybe a little bit, you were kind of on the spot, and I think the guy where he was coming from, it just shows. I'm going to say ignorance of the mainstream dogma about what all this means, and just from health and nutrition. So I wanted to bring it. I asked Mark if we could share it on the show, and he said yes. So we're gonna dissect it. We're gonna play it, and we'll get into 7 lies about red meat. And at the end of it, we're gonna give each other 60 seconds with one little statement to justify it, and kind of bust the myths of the 7 lies. So stick around for that.
Can I just add one thing, Tony, before we start? How powerful was that interview at the very, very beginning?
That's why
that lady, we interviewed her, myself and Victoria. Her name is Jessica. I'm getting her. She's coming on our show very, very soon. But that story is absolutely incredible, and I think more people need to hear it. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable.
And if you didn't see the intro, people, welcome everybody into the chats. We love you. But if you didn't see that intro, I put it on there for a reason, because you know, over and over again, us in the carnivore space, in the low carb space, in the, you know, this community, we know these things. We know that it's a powerful healing modality. And the arguments, in my opinion, are always, is it sustainable long-term, or is it good for you long-term? And I will just simply pose this question. How can something be bad if it ultimately heals you from a place of complete and last resort? If it makes your body heal that way, how can it be bad, let alone sustainable? You know, if so, what you go back to what broke you in the first place and then do it again and heal? Like that's the thing. And this is so powerful when, you know, I dare say hopeless, and they reached out. And I mean, I'm a big believer in the GAPS protocol, and that is so powerful. So if anybody missed it, I put the clip, or you can go on to Mark's Fitness Beyond Time and see that clip. It's very powerful. And I think that's the whole, the reason I put it on there anyway. So hopefully everybody gets a chance to see it, but we should dive right into it. So Mark, do you want to set this up about this, the radio show and what was it all about and what you did?
Okay, so these guys reached out to me just before the Christmas. They were watching my content on Instagram, and they were like, "We'd really like to get you on the new year. You kind of know what you're talking about." So I was like, "Okay, that's fair enough. I can come on. I can talk about certain subjects." So they brought me on last week. We spoke about processed food, and that went really, really well. But this week they were speaking about veganism, and should you feed your kids vegan food? And I said, like, listen, no way. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. But when it comes to your child, you shouldn't make the choice. You should never make the choice for your child, in my opinion. I just feel this is child cruelty. But anyway, they brought me on, and everything went really, really well. And then it just went downhill. It just went literally downhill. These people were telling me that I was crazy, that there's no way I'm eating this amount of food on a daily basis. This is going to lead to a heart attack. This is misleading. We have to. I just felt that they were trying to cut me off, or they were trying to embarrass me on a radio station, and it just felt like it was me against pretty much the fucking nation, to be honest with you. And everybody was ganging up on me, and I was well able to defend myself. But after it finished, I was like, I start questioning. Okay, we're actually going to lose this battle against these people because they're absolutely clueless. They're absolutely clueless. These people were absolutely convinced that they were right, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I just got frustrated. I just couldn't wait to get off. I couldn't wait to get off. I had a little bit of a rant. I went on a walk, and I spoke to herself. I said, "Listen, I'm never doing another radio. I'm never doing another radio station ever again, ever." And funny enough, the guy that actually runs the radio station, he wanted me to go on our show over here. It's called Ireland AM. He's actually on this show quite regularly, or this TV programs quite regularly. And I've always wanted to get on TV, always. And he was telling me, like, we can set this up, we can do this for you if you want. But if this is the road that I'm going down, and you're putting me on national TV to embarrass me, I don't think I want to go down that road.
Well, you know, and I hate to say it, man, but like we look at way back when Paul Saladino, when he went on the doctors, that was a disaster. Like, just, you know, when you're put up against the wall. And, you know, Mark, when I was listening to it, and we're all gonna listen to it, but what I saw was, you know, the one that has the microphone has the power. And I've come from the broadcasting sort of side of things. And like when you're looking at a stand-up comedian, if anybody's getting heckled, the one with the microphone has the power. They get to tell. So the host gets to drive the thing. So I think what happened was he has his thing and he was just dictating the conversation. And it was like part cutting you off, part giving his two bits in. But then he would jump to other people. And I want everybody to really pay attention to all the cliches that got brought up. And I found that fascinating, that they just resort back to, you know, all of it. I'm not going to give it all away, but it was really fascinating. And I feel for you, man, because, you know, when it was like Paul Saladino, when you're up against the the mainstream, you're a heretic right off the bat. If you mention something like you eat all meat, they'll firstly, that's not healthy. But anyway, I don't want to foreshadow too much of it. Let's get into it. Boys, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. And love to hear all the chat. And anybody in the chats want to chime in. This is what it's all about. We're I have a funny feeling there's going to be a lot of Mark defending going on with this one because it's very important. I think it sets up. So the show is, should parents be feeding their babies, raising their babies vegan? I think, yes. And there's a little bit, I tried to cut out the ads and make it a little bit more dynamic, but we'll just let it rip. And I think he sets it up before you come on, just to get the gist of the conversation for everybody.
Yeah.
Vegan diet, John, what do you think?
I'm going to have to leave it over to people to make the decisions for themselves, Niall, on what they think is best. But as long as we can continue to be kinder, if we can spay and neuter dogs and cats, if we can choose cruelty-free cosmetics, staying away from SeaWorld where those poor orca whales are swimming around in concrete tanks, that kind of thing. If we can get rid of fox hunting in this country, we can hold our heads up a little bit more.
I don't think the farmers agree with you. I don't think the farmers would agree with you.
And one last thing, I can't be more thankful as a result of having these conversations with your good self, Niall, over the years. Because of these conversations, and I know it, there's so many more countless kinder people in this country, all as a result of hearing in and listening to ourselves going back and forth on these issues. And as a result, we're a little bit more kinder. So I'm very grateful if there's only one thing I can say.
Well, listen, John, it's been a pleasure talking to you once again, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again real soon. John Carmody, thank you very much indeed. Okay, we're going to take your calls, by the way, as well. The number, as usual, 085 100 2255. Let me go to Mark, if I can, just before the break. Mark, hi, how are you?
Okay, before we start, I just wanted to tell everybody, like, that is the kind of thing, you know, how they're the cruelty to animals already setting up all the bleeding heart vegans about all this. So I can't wait.
Sure.
Good to talk to you, Mark. Mark, getting back to the original email, because we kind of ventured off with John there. Getting back to the original email. So his wife is a vegan and she wants to raise the baby a vegan. What would you say to that situation?
I think it's an absolute disgrace. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're an adult and you're making this decision for yourself, that's fine. You're an adult. But if you're making it for your child, I think it's absolutely wrong. I've always been one of these people that if you're going on about plants, I mean, you guys were talking about animal cruelty, and the way I see it is everything has to die for you to eat. That's pretty much the fact. A plant is a living organ. Okay,
yeah, but it's not sentient. It's not sentient.
Okay, I want to stop. Hopefully my internet doesn't cut out there. I have a very big problem with this because
this drives me crazy when I hear this.
That argument is so ridiculous, and what you're trying to say is brilliant because there is no life without death. That's the point. And when he starts telling about a carrot's not sentient, well, I would argue there's people in the consciousness field that everything is conscious. So this table, this computer, whatever you want to argue. And I think that is just such a ridiculous thing because your point was, if I'm not mistaken, is something has to die for something to live. That's it. And then it gets taken out, and we'll listen to his rebuttal here.
A plant.
Although
there are people who argue that it is. I know there are people out there that argue that it is, but it's not. I mean, you know, a carrot is not a sentient thing.
Where did it come from?
Well, it comes from the ground, but it's not sentient. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't feel pain.
Okay, but how did it grow?
Because somebody planted it.
Okay, so how did it grow? So it came from a living organ. So it came from something.
No, Mark. Let's keep the conversation real here. It's not.
Do you know that?
That's what I'm saying. He was trying to get his point across to me all the time. He was the one that was taking control here. This is what really pissed me off. He wasn't playing the level field here. He was trying to talk over me all the time.
And when he says that, like, it's like, come on, you're ridiculous. Don't be stupid. Yeah. Like, oh my God, a carrot's not alive. But yet there's certain vegans that eat raw that say that only eat alive food. Well, I'm sorry, when you rip a carrot out of the ground.
Exactly. Like, where did it come from? I kept on saying to him, like, where did it come from? And he couldn't give me a straight answer. He just kept on saying to me, this is ridiculous. This is not real. And I'm like this guy is not listening to me.
Yeah, and that's
It's It's
Go
like
ahead.
the standard comment that you get under the videos that we are eating corpses, dead animals, and if people are eating vegetables, they are apparently eating alive stuff. So is it alive or isn't it? I mean,
Exactly. That's, I mean, it's just, honestly, it's laughable. It's just laughable.
And when you look at what had to die for that carrot to be planted and picked, all of a sudden.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and that's just the perfect railroad when a host wants to push a narrative right at this point. I could tell, and he may be in his defense, he may be doing this for audience, you know, reaction or something, but it's ridiculous, you know. Okay,
It's not a living thing. It's a living plant, if that's what you kind of call it, but it doesn't have feelings. It doesn't experience pain.
Okay. But the fact of the matter is, what when we look at optimal health here, what's essential and what's not essential. Now
I love what you said there. That is wild, right? Good turnaround. I think that's bam, like in your face, buddy. I love it.
You have made the argument already that what are we? Are omnivores, carnivores? We're apex predators. That's what we are. That's who we are. We as humans are apex predators. We've been eating meat for centuries. Tell me, over 1,000 million years ago, what were we eating? Are you telling me that we survived on plants?
No, we didn't. I never said we were. We're omnivores. We eat plant-based and meat-based products. Yeah. I don't think we're. By the way, I don't believe as human beings. I think we've evolved. I don't believe we're apex predators anymore. I think we've.
Well, I would argue that's probably your first problem, buddy, because you know, the apex predator, you're giving it up to be the soy boy. Like, what does that mean? That's wild. So at this point, Mark, how are you feeling? Like,
oh man, I was just frustrated. I knew where this was going. I knew exactly where this was going. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a long show. So I knew where I was heading from here.
Okay, and Peter, what are you thinking at this point right now, listening to it?
Yeah, well, I would be disturbed by the fact that he's immediately avoiding the whole health aspect of the food, and it's not coming back probably the rest of the show. If it's coming back, it will be the cliche stuff like without bringing arguments that we should eat fiber and that sort of thing.
When you hear what he said,
we will hear about fiber.
Yeah,
definitely.
when you hear what he says about fiber and cereal, or healthy cereal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mechanized everything now. I mean, for example, when I'm hungry, I'm walking by a farm. I don't jump over the fence and leap on the back of a cow and start chewing into his neck. So,
okay, see,
it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
If there's any kind of like shock jock therapy here, like he's saying stuff that's so ridiculous that, and that's probably for the audience to be, you know, theater of the mind shit. But it's just like that's completely missing the point again. I mean, what he doesn't understand is all three of us. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I'm an animal lover. I have a dog. I've always had a dog. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love animals. I don't want to see any animal harmed. You know what I mean? This is what I just don't understand. I do not want to see any animal harmed. That's the fact. But where we're going at the moment is we're only focusing on the animal, and humans are suffering. They're suffering. You look around in the world. Like, humans are in a really, really bad way at the moment. Really, really bad way. So it's like, okay, what do we do? Do we prioritize the animal over the human being? Like, you know what I mean? It's like seriously, guys, let's get back to bleeding reality.
I know. Yeah.
Honestly, it's just, you can't argue. You just can't argue against this. You really can't.
And what people throw in there, like when you said the apex predator, like you're talking from a complete animalistic point of view. You're not talking about modern day pastoralism or herding. You're talking about food. On the food chain, we're at the top. And you know, he's bringing in the argument, well, now we're civil and we're that's once again, that's, you know, another, I guess they call it a straw man, because that's not the point.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But you look at any animal in the world, they have to protect their family and look after the family by killing other animals.
Yeah.
That's basically how nature works. So you go to Africa, you'll see this in the wild. If you're lucky enough to go to Africa, you'll probably see a lion that's going after a hyena, a baby hyena. But like, you can't just look at it and say, well, this is terrible. This can't be happening. This is nature. This is what the lion has to do in order to look after his family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's our mother. It's like seriously, we just need to get away from this.
I go down the road and I sink my teeth into a cow. It's like
it's like what the fuck? Like, honestly.
Yeah. What disturbs me a lot is that what I find strange is that they always think in some kind of ethical way. Yeah? They are idealists. They think that you can build an ethical system that is sort of closed, that every animal, just as humans, can have the same rights and all these things. So, I mean, let them vote at elections and all these things. How far do you go? But why this disturbs me is that I'm a mathematician. So in mathematics, you can do this. You can make closed systems in terms of logics, in number systems and all these things, perfectly closed. So there's nothing that you can bring against it. But with ethics, it's simply not possible to create a world in which everything is equal. Everybody has the same rights, the same level of wealth and all these things. Yeah. So we have to be realistic and look at how we are built biologically and where we come from. And veganism is just an escape from reality in a way. I mean, it's like looking at animals in a Hello Kitty fashion, like pink kitties and
can I just add in one more point as well? We just need to get back to one thing and one thing only. What is real food? Like, what are you telling me? Plants is real food? Like, if that's your logic of thinking, that's fair enough. That's you can think whatever you like, but we honestly need to get back to reality here. Real food is the food that we've been eating for centuries, and you will never convince me otherwise that this is different. Yes, I accept that back in our ancestor days, we didn't just eat meat all the time. Of course, we had to go out and hunt, and we maybe came across berries or fruits, or some days we were fasting because maybe some days we couldn't even catch an animal. You know what I mean? So, then. Yeah, so it was all about survival. So, but we need to get back to what I just said. What do we determine as real food? Because in the world that we're living at the moment, 60% of our food is fake. Well, that's a fact. And now you look at what's going on in the world. Now they're trying to eliminate meat altogether and bring in more fucking fake meat.
Yeah.
So this is where we're going at the moment. So it's just like that's where we need to go back to. We need to get back to nature and just ask the question, what is real food?
And
that's it.
And before we get going, I wanna mention something too. You ask any rancher or dairy producer or anybody who is responsible for feeding their family based on their herd or their flock, they take care of their animals to the best of their abilities. So this argument is bullshit, and it's spin and propaganda. You don't go to a dairy farm and see the cows like, well, somebody who's a farmer. No, I'm not talking about the big battery, huge conventional stuff. They care about the animals. That argument as well. It's like, no. This is livelihood for my family, So we lose that. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not an apex predator. I'll wait and I'll go down to Tesco's and I'll buy it off a shelf. I get somebody else to do that for me.
Okay, so let's look at it. Let's look at it a little bit deeper. So you ask any vegan at the moment who's on a vegan diet at the moment, they will say they're getting every single vitamin. They'll say that they're healthy, but they're lacking key nutrients. They're lacking in.
Yeah, they're taking subsidies. John even admitted he takes subsidies.
They're not getting like the likes of vitamin B12, iron,
zinc,
omega-3,
iodine,
creatine,
calcium.
iron.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're lacking in absolutely everything. So how can these people convince everybody else that they're healthy when they have to supplement
in order to keep your diet on track.
Do me a favor, Mark. Stay there because I want to come to Alan's. I'm going to come to Alan straight after this break. Alan, please, I do apologize. I know you've been waiting for ages, so I do apologize. Mark, stay with me for a second because I want you to stay on. But I'm going to come to Alan straight after the break. All right.
This guy's awesome, actually. I love it.
Welcome back. Now, let me just go to Alan. Mark, stay with me. Alan, hi. How are you?
Hey, Niall.
Alan, just in relation to the original email, so the guy is married 3 years. They've had their first baby. Should be a joyous occasion, but it's not because his wife wants the baby to be a vegan.
Well, the child should be taken off them. That's putting the child in danger. This is an ideology and a delusion. They're in a cult. It's another form of an abstract cult where they prioritize animals over the safety of their baby.
Well, no, they disagree with cruelty to animals. Yeah, they just.
Well, that's exactly the point. It's not they disagree with cruelty to animals. They're taking humans and putting them below these animals, but yet, they're killing them all when they crop the carrots.
Cruelty.
No, I'm sick of hearing about that guy that you had on from whatever. What was his name? John.
Yeah. Well, let's please don't talk about John. He's not on the air now to defend himself. So, but you didn't agree with him, and that's a fair point.
Yeah, well, he hears the radio and he can make a reply later on. The fact is, he's obsessed with protecting animals. But
well, he is. Yeah.
A mute point when it comes to babies who haven't been born, and he said that he just want to make a moral judgment on whether people should feed their kids a vegan diet. That tells you, Niall, they have their priorities up their arse. That's not the way the world is. The baby needs nourishment, nutrients, iron, all the proper nutrients, and when it's an adult, then it can decide to be. And vegans are very boring. They're very irritating.
Why are vegans boring? I
appreciate devil's advocacy from the host, but come on, man, this is real people talking. This is not in the nutrition and health and carnivore space. This is a guy that's like, dude, this is wrong. Yeah, he's trying to defend.
Yeah, I understand there has to be a balanced conversation, but there also has to be logic. Honestly, There really has common sense.
Yeah,
there really does.
We sit around analysing.
That's a very stereotypical view of a vegan. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, wouldn't be my cup of tea.
Niall, I've never met a happy vegan. They're always moralistic.
You've never met a happy vegan? I'm sure there is happy vegans in the world.
Happy vegan. Vegans.
Hey, then I could easily say I've never met an unhappy carnivore, right? Like, really, that's pretty, if we're going to be just throw all our rationality out the window, I could easily say that. Go to the carnivore community worldwide, listen to the peeps. You'll understand.
Boring. And they sit around moralizing.
Yeah. Oh, that was you on the radio. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. What did you say, Mark?
Can I just add a quick point? Because this is basically what the vegans will say. The vegans will say that you shouldn't eat the animal, correct? Every single vegan will say the exact same thing. Don't eat the animal. Yeah. Just eat the protein from plants. But if you look at the animal, where does the animal
from eating the plants?
From eating the plants. So the hypocrisy is unbelievable.
Hang on. There's no hypocrisy in that, Mark. That just
okay. Well, hang on.
I understand. Okay, that's where we get the reason we get proteins from meat is because animals eat meat or eat plants.
But where are we getting the nutrients from? We're getting the nutrients from the animal. So why do we need to get it from why do we need to get it from plant food?
Okay, sorry, Alan.
It does not make any sense.
Okay, Alan. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
The fact is,
fair enough, right? Like that's a pretty, And I mean, if you want to get technical, we get the energy from the sun and the oxygen from the air, and it all gets cycled through nitrogen and minerals in the ground. We're all eating the same shit, then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you can say that when you look at plants. Like you'll hear this. Okay, well, we can eat these, but we don't have the same digestive system as an animal. This is the reason why the animals eat these foods for us, because they're able to break these foods down. You cannot absorb fiber. Like this is what drives me crazy. You cannot. It just goes right through you. Your body's not absorbing this food.
Yeah.
So what's the reason? What's the reason for eating it?
Well,
it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And the mother,
she's a vegan for the last 6 months. Yeah.
So 6 months 6 months this mother's a vegan and wants to put her infant on a okay, like that's crazy.
Well, she's a tick. Tell her for me she's a tick. And if I'm happens to that baby, she should be charged with murder.
Well,
that's murder for all the North Americans out there.
Well, it have been. Well, to be fair, people who did this with babies before and the baby ended up malnourished, they were charged with murder.
That husband who is concerned should ring the social services and inform them that the wife is denying the child nutrients and supplements.
Well, it's not illegal.
That the child needs.
It's not illegal to raise. It's not illegal to raise your baby.
Well, I think I hear the government is so concerned about the welfare of children. But what they should do is get into the doll as soon as possible and make veganism illegal for children. It's a
Anybody in the chats feel the same way? I sure do.
Moral and wrong and perverse.
What's perverse about it? Whatever about you think is wrong and morally wrong and all that kind of thing, that's your decision and that's your opinion. But perverse.
Well, do you know what I mean by perverse? Perverse doesn't always have to come up.
No, I understand. It doesn't have to be always sex, but perverse, you kind of takes it to a whole new level.
Well,
doesn't
it's perverse. They would be more concerned about an animal in a random field than they would about their own child. That's how flippant stupid they are. They're living in daydream. They're morons.
But okay. Well,
I would like to know. I would really like to know from these vegans. This is the question I would love to know. Give me one reason why anybody should go on a plant-based diet. Give me just one reason, because what I'm
because
told
they want
is
to. Because they want to.
Yeah, okay, it's your choice.
Yeah.
That's fine. I have no wishes that you're an adult. But if someone's going to tell me that's a healthier option over eating meat, I'm sorry, you're talking absolute rubbish.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I did know a girl going back a few years ago that I was working with at the time, and she was on not so much a vegan diet, but a vegetarian diet, and to be honest with you, she had problems too with lactose. And the reason was it just played havoc with her stomach. So that was for medical reasons. She didn't eat meat or she didn't drink dairy products.
And see, this is what we need to understand about fiber. Fiber is, when it's broken down into your system, it's fermented. So when you're walking around gassy, bloated, this is not normal. If you're breaking winds on a regular basis, it is not normal. People think that this is just normal. I'm meant to be breaking winds.
They're hippies. They live in a fantasy about the world.
I know meat eaters who go around farting all the time as well.
See, I would say no.
No.
Everybody in the chats, I can see a lot of our carnivore friends in there.
But see the way he twisted it back on him again. Oh, yeah. He was doing that through the whole interview.
Yeah.
He was right and we were wrong. Did you notice that?
There's a lot of stuff here put on one pile. I mean, we're talking about vegetarians. So if you include eggs and cheese, it can be a complete diet. I mean, I have vegetarian friends, and since they have a baby, they started to include more things like eggs and also meat for the baby.
Yeah.
And then he's talking about meat causing farts. Well, obviously that is in a diet combined with other stuff, because it doesn't, most of us know that it doesn't reach the large intestines. So there's no way that it can ferment. And personally, I mean, everybody on whatever diet sometimes experiences a bit of stomach distress, let's say, if you eat something just wrong, because it's maybe not in perfect condition, or if I drink suddenly a liter of milk and I'm not used to drinking milk, I will fart. Obviously, I will get bloated. But generally speaking, if you 99% of the time, you don't experience troubles, and this whole egg farting stuff, that drives me crazy.
Well, I'm the same way. Like, I have my friends in Chile, man. They're carnivore vegetarians. They eat eggs, like 15 to 24 eggs a day, and they have a little bit of vegetables with it. Like, they've been doing this for 3 years, man, and they're like, "Wow, I feel great." And it's like, yes, because you're prioritizing the right thing.
Yeah, and like, honestly, I can't remember. I can't remember when the last time I was consistently breaking wind. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, honestly, I'm not going to say it never happens, but I can tell you right now, it never happens as much as what I used to do in the past.
I think about this time from time to time, and it's like, well, let's go to the not breaking wind, but the smelliness of it. You're not producing methane. You're not having the byproduct, the off gas. It's maybe the air that's getting pushed like through.
But that can't be normal. Like you're walking around, you're breaking wind, and you're absolutely rotten. That tells you there's something in your gut that's not right.
Exactly.
Like seriously, the smell is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's not. I have this every Monday when I go into the change rooms, especially after the weekend. Jesus, oh my God, lads! Honest to God, the smell is unbelievable. They're going into the gym, they're detoxing.
It takes minutes sometimes to go to the toilet. So yeah.
And this is no word of a lie. I've been going into the gym, and this is no word of a lie. You'd look into the toilet, and the logs are about that size. They're about that size, lads.
I learned one thing: you never go for number 2 in the gym.
It's like how did you get that out? Honestly, God, that must have took a half an hour. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not even joking with you. And like, you're trying to flush the toilet and it won't move. And you're thinking the poor bastard is trying to clean it.
Well, let's go ahead with the video. We're losing viewers.
Well, I've been a meat eater here for 6 years, and I have never. I don't break wind, but no. So I don't.
But I would, because I'm lactose intolerant.
See, that's another Strawman, and not to mention, we'll go.
Exactly. I was thinking about that. The lactose intolerance. I mean, in the past, I thought also for the first 2 years that I did carnivore, milk is a no-go. But once you get healed, your gut gets healed, and 99% of the times, I mean, no doubt there are some people that cannot stand it, but
it's changed. I'm the same way, Peter. I was a milk freak when I was a kid. I drank a lot of milk, and then eventually in my 20s, if I even smelled milk, I was running to the toilet. That's gone now. That's completely gone. And I didn't drink milk for 15 years, and now I can. It's definitely.
What meat are you eating?
No, I'm not talking about meat. I'm talking. I eat meat all the time. For example, I'll give you an example. I love ice cream. Love ice cream.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dairy and meat are two different things.
But no, hang on. I'm just saying I love ice cream, but we are talking about vegans here, so vegans don't eat ice cream. But if I do eat ice cream or eat too much of it, I get very bloated and I feel very unwell.
Well, you shouldn't eat it, Niall.
No, I know I shouldn't, but I just do enjoy it. I have to say, good old McDonald's McFlurry is lovely. Sorry.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people are saying, especially the dietitians, they're all saying that everybody's fiber deficient. We're not all fiber deficient. The problem is when you add fiber into the diet, if you're walking around with these issues, you're bloated, you're gassy, you're constipated, this is not normal.
I understand. And most doctors,
we're not designed.
Okay, most doctors will tell you that babies need good calorie-dense foods, right?
Anybody want to chime in on that? Let's hear what Byron has to say about that. Yeah.
You're not going to get very much. You're not going to get much of that from plants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in saying that, Alan wants to make it illegal.
When you look at meat, when you look at meat, it's the most nutrient dense food on the planet.
Yeah, in moderation, by the way.
Exactly. So you see again, I made a statement.
Oh yeah.
I made a statement and he jumped straight in there straight away to defend his cause again. This happened all the way through all the interview.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
He never gave me a chance. He never gave me a chance to defend myself. He always had the final say.
Yeah, and if you eat it more, it just becomes more nutrient dense. So your meal, if it's 100% meat, it's.
And Peter, do you have to be a mathematician to figure that out? Is that?
Yeah. Apparently.
In fairness to John, he was right about people lying in hospital at 60 years of age with heart conditions. They're eating too much of it.
Uh-oh. Whoops. Once again.
But that's in your opinion. You need to look at the new food.
No, hang on. This is not my opinion. Scientists will tell you, Mark, that.
Oh! I would love to hear Eddie Goki's on this, like what he would be saying right now. That'd be pretty crazy. Like science says, really.
Too much red meat is not good for you.
Okay, let's talk about science.
No, just as like I said, too much red meat's not good for you. That's a valid point.
Hey, that's a fact, Mark. Mark, how dare you say this? And you haven't even told him you're eating only meat yet. That's beautiful.
Okay, but that's what science says. How do you know this? Have you ever tried it? Because I've been eating red meat now for the last 6 years, and I've
been eating it for 62 years. Yeah, go on.
Okay, well, I've gotten a CAC scan every single year, and guess what came up? 0. 0. Now, I eat a lot of red meat every week. I eat about 4 or 5 pounds of red meat a day.
A day?
Are you telling me a day? So are you telling me that
5 pounds of meat a day?
Mark, that's a lie.
See, this is the problem. Is now this shifts to the amount you're eating, and it's unbelievable. They forget, like, the whole thing about it being good for you is now this shock value. Holy shit. And it's, this is where it kind of irks me, because he just hammers this over and over again.
Not eating 5 pounds of red meat a day.
Niall, listen to me. I wouldn't come on a radio station. I wouldn't come on a radio station and lie. Why would I come on a radio?
5 pounds of red meat a day.
I eat 5. Yes.
Okay, I had peas, small potatoes, and I had minced kind of pates last night. But there was about a pound, not even a pound in weight in the mince. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well,
I couldn't imagine eating 5 pounds of red meat.
Well, you just said it yourself there, buddy. Like, you couldn't imagine it.
Can I just add as well, because I mentioned this to you guys when I came back off my holidays when I was in America a couple of weeks ago. I was walking around the parks and I was doing around, I don't know, maybe 20, 35,000 steps. I can tell you right now, every day I was eating more than 5 pounds of red meat a day. More. I can guarantee it, because I was eating around 3 times a day. I was starving. And I'm talking about, like, when I was having a meal, I wasn't having like 1 or 2 steaks. I was having like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
2 or 3. 2 or 3. Nothing. And that was at a sitting. Every meal I was having around 2 or 3 steaks. You know what I mean? I was able to consume this very, very easily. Yeah. Very, very easily. No issues whatsoever. And the thing was, when I was finished, I didn't have any digestive issues. I wasn't bloated. I had tons of energy. I was ready to go again.
Yeah, well, just imagine how much I ate during my summer cycling event. It's like 5 or 6 hours of cycling through the mountains. Yeah. I mean, probably the same in terms of meat, and then a lot of butter and cheese with it. So.
Sorry to interrupt here, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're living an active life like I do, I go to the gym regularly. I'm on the go. I'm always doing check-ins. So I'm constantly busy from 3 a.m. in the morning. Constantly busy. So you're using up energy. So my body is able to adapt to this amount of food. Now, this is why people don't understand this. Over a period of time, this is not like I did this from day one.
Yeah.
My body had to adjust to this amount of food that I'm eating right now. So over the years, as I packed on more muscle and I got stronger, I added more food into my diet. So in the last 6 years, if we're going by calories, if you had spoke to me like 6 years ago, I probably would have been consuming around maybe 15, maybe 1,600 calories on average. I can tell you right now, 6 years later, I'm putting away around 3,500, 4,000 calories easily on a daily basis.
You don't add in so much things like butter, right? I mean, no. you eat it, but not much.
No, it's just meat. I get all the fats from meat. Yeah. It's pretty much a 1-to-1 ratio. Protein and fat coming from the animal. I don't add in extra fat.
And that's the thing that this, like, I think we're going to stop it there because we've got to get to Peter's allulose. But it just keeps going like, oh, you can't eat 5 pounds of meat. Oh, you can't. They focus on the number and they don't realize what you're trying to say is I eat meat to satiety every day and I'm not broken by it. Like, this is what I do. It has nothing really to do with the 5 pounds, but they keep. Oh my God, 5 pounds, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's the point that they're saying that this is not real. Yeah. There's no way this is real. There's no way that you're still here. You're eating and then you guys probably you need to go back in and watch this. He went to Chat PT.
Yes.
And it said on this that if you eat this amount of food, this is what's going to lead to a heart attack. And I counteracted the argument. I said, well, listen, this is what this is saying. I'm the research here. So are you going by against what I'm saying? And then there's a million people in the world that are eating this way. They're thriving. They're eating a lot of red meat. They've put most of their symptoms into remission. Are you telling people all over the world that have done this? Are you saying that these people are liars and we should go off what you're reading off a PC?
Yeah, he
this is
didn't
where we're
believe
going
you.
at the moment. No,
At that point, he didn't believe you anymore.
He was like, "There's no way this is real. There's no way this is real."
And I mean, and that was the thing. Like, you know, we're gonna spare the bullshit because he just keeps coming at there. You can't be doing that, Mark. You're lying, and it's like we're not here to slander and slag Mark because, like, you know, it was kind of you were defenseless at that point because he just kept hammering that bullshit. And the ChatGPT thing, of course, is ChatGPT going to change now that the guidelines have changed? I wonder. Maybe. I don't know. Who's programming it?
I doubt it.
Well, if I ask it, it won't give that answer. So it depends also a bit on history. Right?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Mark, I mean, I feel you, buddy. Like that's pretty wild. But I mean, and you know, that the hardest part about listening to that is I know you and I know what you're trying to say and I know what you could have said. And I know that they were just railroading the shock value, as you know what I mean. And I think you were, unfortunately, instead of a logical, rational like example, they made you sort of a trophy of like unbelievableness, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And I think, you know, like the Paul Saladino on the doctors, it's like, you can't do that. That's just crazy. You know, and it's like, well, I do, and I've done, and people have. So what are you saying?
And the thing is, what came out of that interview was, I don't think anybody learned anything from it.
Yeah, exactly.
I really don't. I think people were brainwashed into thinking that this guy is crazy. This guy talking about red meat is crazy. This is what we've always believed in.
Yeah.
This guy was actually making more sense, and that's what really frustrated me because I could have got my point across a lot better on that show, but they wouldn't let me do it.
Mm-hmm. And I think he kind of kept leading you into like defending yourself from ridiculous statements as opposed to actually talking about the issue at hand. And that was yeah, man, I feel you, buddy. And let us know in the chats how you feel about that. It's pretty, I don't think you're alone there. I think a lot of people would be put in that position in all our countries. I don't think the mainstream is ready for hearing it. Like, even though look at what happened with the food guidelines. Everybody's got their opinions about, well, this, that. It's like, just start thinking, people. You need to start thinking for yourself.
There did happen something interesting in the Netherlands. On Friday, last Friday, there was a late night show on a commercial television broadcaster. And they invited a woman that is on the carnivore diet for 1 year now. And she happened to have quite good opponents, in the sense that they were not bashing her and they were not talking only negative about the carnivore diet. They were like the cliche things, like there was this scientific journalist type of person talking about the risks of colon cancer and that it's bad for the health, for the planet and the environment. But they were also very appreciative of her story and that it had benefits for her. And there were also some people, there was another person also, that's also nice, that in such a setting, there were some well-known Dutch people there. And one of them appeared to be also doing fasting and keto dieting. So a conversation developed that was actually, in a way, quite positive.
Proactive. About
the carnivore diet. And of course, the mainstream ideas are hard to counter. But yeah, I think that might have been a good one in this case, so that people get to know it and they see that there is a healthy person sitting. She solved a lot of problems, and yeah. So it can go the other way, but yeah, it's an exception still.
I mean, if you just look at it in the social circles, like everybody as soon as you tell somebody that what you're doing, the excuses start coming out about how they can't, how it's bad, how there's no way, that's impossible, you're lying to me. All those regurgitated same talking points come up, and it's like, can't you guys just look at your nose without looking at, just look at it, the obvious. Shut up and just look at what's happening to people. And it's
and people that are hardliners like this, the mainstream hardliners, they are delaying progression, because at some point I think it will become clear that at least for a part of the population, this is really necessary. And that's actually what they said in the Friday late night interview. there were some people remarking like, okay, so I'm not fully for the carnivore diet, but I understand that at least for some people it's really a solution. And the same holds for the keto approach. They are showing once in a while some documentaries about the benefits, and with all the caveats, they always refer back to like, oh, it's dangerous and not enough research and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But good things are happening. And I think if we are like 5 years further on the road, that it might go in a good direction.
Baby steps to the final thing. And I mean, it all starts with just the awareness and starting to realize that there's other things and people are healing. Like that is the thing that it's so
undeniable.
You can't deny it anymore, right? Yeah. Like people are having miraculous healings, and there's some weight there now.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter, are you ready to go, buddy? We're cruising through things today. I mean, that was wild, but you know what?
Shall I start? Oh yeah. Let's start with the clickbaity part. So I'm on a GLP-1 agonist and I'm eating sugar right now. So that's quite a change, right, for a carnivore and a type 1 diabetic. A type 1 diabetic eating sugar. That sounds crazy, but I'm eating this stuff here. Allulose.
Allulose.
I had to it was quite an effort to get it because there's only one place where I can buy it, because in the EU it's not certified yet. So it's a sugar. It's not certified. It has not been researched enough. We all know that everything has to be researched perfectly before we eat it.
Yeah, we can't get it in Canada either.
No, and it's made of corn. So of all things, I never imagined that I would be starting to eat corn.
So you're a carnivore now.
Yeah, I'm literally a carnivore. Yeah, I made a video about this once, but now for real. And the reason is that GLP-1 works. I mean, even the medicine, it works, right? I mean, it does what it explains to do. And let's forget about the side effects of the GLP-1 drug.
Yeah,
it does what it tells you it does. So it activates GLP-1 and it suppresses hunger and all these things. And there are some type 1 diabetics actually using microdosing of this of Ozempic and Wegovy. I don't like that idea because carnivore diet on itself is already a GLP-1 agonist in a way, a natural one. And this one, it's natural GLP-1 as well. I mean, it's processed because, it's made of corn, but you could still call it natural in a way. It's not like a true medicine. But I am using it as a medicine because I have no need of sugar in my diet. So it's actually a bit weird to have sugary tastes during the day. I'm not used to it. And, well, by now, I mean, I like it because... Well, who doesn't like sugar? So but the reason why I do this is that type 1 diabetics are hormonally in disbalance. So even if we treat it perfectly, so on the low carb carnivore diet that I'm on, I'm having a very good insulin regimen. There is still a disbalance in type 1 diabetics because insulin levels, even if I inject insulin, they are not correct. So insulin is produced at the pancreas, and then it always first goes to the liver. And the balance between insulin and glucagon over there is very important. And I inject it in the skin. So in a normal person, insulin first goes to the liver. It's very high. It suppresses glucagon because if insulin is high, glucagon goes down, more or less. They are sort of balanced. But for me, I inject it here under the skin, so it has to go all the way to the liver, and the concentration is like 10 times lower than in a normal adult. So my glucagon is supercharged. That's the problem. And I basically cannot do anything about it. So unless I'm fasting, but even then, still it's like I have a basal insulin rate, which still is higher in my body than at the liver. So at the liver, it's still too low. So I'm actually a sort of type 2 diabetic in the rest of the body because there it's too high. and at the liver it's too low. And what this GLP-1 agonist does, it suppresses glucagon. So it suppresses hunger, but it also drastically reduces glucagon spikes. And that's very helpful for me because when you eat a meal with protein, for example, it takes like 4 to 6 hours to digest. It can even be 8 hours sometimes. But already before, I get a glucose spike, and everybody gets it in a small amount. But that's not the food that's being digested, that's the glucagon. Releasing glucose in your bloodstream. So that's why also GLP-1 works in type 2 diabetics partly, because it will also suppress glucagon over there. So it will just reduce glucose variations in the body. That's very helpful. But I'll upload an example of what it did with my blood sugar values. I waited with uploading because it will show it immediately on the screen, I think. So it would have interrupted everything.
No, it makes perfect sense, Peter, because that's what these were brought out for. These GLP-1 injections were brought out for type 2 diabetics. You know what I mean? To manage blood sugar, to manage cravings, to manage hunger. This is what they were brought out for. The problem is it's been overdiagnosed now.
Yeah, it's been fantasized.
That's where we're going at the moment.
Yeah,
so
no, exactly.
I've never said that they can't be used as a tool. Never said that ever. But I've always said you should look at food first and then look at it as a second.
Yeah, and I think that's how it is. And people are. I've been in discussion with a type 1 diabetic. She is on microdosed GLP-1, and I'm not even totally against that if it works, microdosing, because you're treating a true condition that is not solvable by diet. Whole imbalance that I talked about. Whatever you do, if I were able to inject the insulin right at the liver, then I would be able to solve it, and we don't need GLP-1. But in this case, it does help. But I think that maybe if this person is on an average mixed diet, so she might even need more.
Yeah,
because probably on a low carb diet. You can see it here in the graphs. I put before after in the corner, but I think you can see it.
Yeah,
it made things much easier, and every diabetic would be happy with any of these graphs.
Totally comes back into more of a range, right?
Yeah, and this is a 7-day average. Yeah. And I think on the first one, the bad one, let's call it like that one, I was without the sugar yet, and here it's like it's smooth sailing. I mean,
like you're under 6 like all the time.
Yeah, that's the average. So if you look at the full range goes slightly above 7, but that's very occasionally. And I also noticed it in the gym, because the gym is a place where you typically get glucagon spikes.
Yeah.
Today, I had a spike just above 8, but that would happen in any person. Like if Sean Baker is doing this thing, he goes above 10 sometimes. So that's perfectly normal.
Lisa's asking if you can explain the graphs. So
So what we see here is my average, or the median, I have to say. We're seeing 2 pictures, each of 7-day periods of my blood glucose. The median value that's the blue line. That's of course a nice one to look at, but that doesn't tell the whole story, because all the percentile bands around it are relevant as well. And I like to have at least a 75% band, well within range. And then an occasional thing reaching up to 7 or 8 in the 100% range.
Yeah,
that happens maybe once a week. That's
and you're
fine as well.
You're talking about that, like the hashy blue lines. That's your range.
Yeah, that's the range indeed. Because I imagine that a lot of people maybe use milligram per deciliter. So the upper line is like at 140 milligrams per deciliter.
Right.
And a lot of people don't reach that second graph, I think. Actually, I'm happy with the first graph as well. But in terms of how I deal with it during the day, the second graph is much easier because I also noticed that my insulin needs went down. And also the correction factors, like I can almost inject insulin after the fact. If I see it creeping up a little bit, I put a little bit of insulin in it. So it's a very intuitive approach because, and that's funny because a lot of people, they think because I'm a mathematician that I'm this disciplined guy and that I calculate all this stuff. And I don't do it. I like to have an intuitive approach. It's the same in the gym. I try to be consistent a little bit, but I want to do things intuitively and not exactly the same every time, because it takes too much of my concentration. I want to spend it on other stuff. But yeah, especially after the meals, and there's some research on it. And yes, some people don't believe it. They think like it's just some artificial sweetener. But there are some mechanisms in it also at the level, I think it's in the small intestines already. And maybe also via gut microbiome that it does a little bit. But there must also be some more direct effect, because already right after eating, I see differences. And what I do nowadays is I typically eat 1 or 2 times a day. And then in the morning, I make this sort of egg milkshake made of eggs and butter. And I put a scoop of this allulose in it.
Okay.
And that, it's also helped a lot.
That's the only time of day that you're really eating.
Well, I eat it then.
Yeah.
I might skip that as well, but because it's important to take the allulose during the meal to suppress the corresponding postprandial peak.
Okay.
And that's what I've really seen. Like sometimes I used 3 or 4 units of insulin for a large piece of steak. And now it might be less.
Wow.
So that's really, a big change.
Yeah, it is. Big time.
That's crazy. So for all the people that don't realize how important this is to a type 1 diabetic to get that, and if Lisa's asking about the line, like we don't want glucose excursions, like big ups and big downs. You want to keep that line. And if you looked at and took that after line over 2-3 weeks, that's a flat line. That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and I intentionally took a 7-day period because, of course, if I look at 30 days, these graphs flatten out automatically. But and you see a lot of, by the way, to finish it up, is that you see a lot of fluctuations in it. But that's also partly due to CGMs. That's a good thing to realize. If you wear a CGM, there are things like if I suddenly move my arms after sitting down, there will be increased circulation, and the blood glucose values measured in the interstitial fluid will temporarily go up. So you see a lot of short spikes. Yeah. And they basically mean nothing. Actually, if in the night, it can sometimes even go up like 4 millimoles for no reason, and it's just fake, luckily. Yeah. But this is... this is what happens, and you see it in the A1C values that go down and all these things.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Like anybody that's interested in this stuff, like we should all really be. Like, I mean, everybody should be aware of their glucose and their control. You could I do it once or twice a year. I do a CGM, and I mean, obviously, I don't have to. It's not a need for me, like it is for Peter. But it's really cool to start seeing how this stuff works, how exercise, stress. I usually do a couple tests with some foods I don't usually eat, just to get a grip of how your glucose is working and what's sort of the big picture. It's really, really cool to do. And I mean, all my clients, I suggest when we start, if I'm going to be explaining anything about metabolism, I get them to go on a CGM, because when you're explaining insulin and glucose and all this, if you don't see what it's actually doing, sometimes it can get so overwhelming. So
and see, that's what you made a good point, Tony, because I do the same thing. It's not always diet related.
No,
it's not. It's not like like you said, training, poor sleep, overtraining, under eating. There's so many factors that need to be considered here. So many.
And I mean, if you looked at like Peter's alarms for his need, like those, like if he goes out of those, like it's danger, he's got to adjust.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just say that what you see here, the full range of the graph, all the way up to, you cannot see my mouse, but I wanted to point it, all the way, the full region that you see here, that's where ideally a type 1 diabetic, according to the guidelines, is. So if they are all the way up to 9, 10, it's still accepted as perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But that's not it. This here is like virtually 100% in range, in this tight range. Normal diabetics, on an average diet at least, they don't even reach like 70 or 60% time in range in the full region of the graph.
Yeah.
That's just really insanity. And they allowed for this alternative guidelines to be set up for type 1 diabetics, reaching to these very high values. That's actually Stephen Thomas explained that once you go above 7, so 110 or 120 milligrams per deciliter, you already start to get this polyol pathway activated, which is also damaging. So actually, I try to, for practicality, I don't put my limit at 7 because it would drive me crazy, and it's fine to go above it temporarily. But strictly speaking, that's where you should be below.
Peter,
110, 120.
We have a question. Is it okay to have a blood sugar? Is it okay to have blood sugar to be at 100 every time you test? It has been that way for 2
I think
months.
so.
I'm on the Lion diet, 16 days, no, pretty strict. Beef, black coffee, and butter.
Yeah, and you could consider taking its CGM to see if it's really always around or below that value, but that's perfectly fine. That's like a 5.5, I think.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing there too is we're looking at like really is what like Stephen Thomas said. And if anybody has go check out Stephen Thomas and he's brilliant with this stuff. But if your body is just equalizing whatever you're doing, stress, whatever, it's going up and down. It's going up and down. It's when you get a huge glucose spike and then a crash way down. Those are the danger. Your body's going to be physiological different. All of our bodies are, and they're going to work within certain parameters. And I think that's the thing that when you're not type 1 diabetic that people miss. It's like we talk about these numbers like they're absolutes, and there's so much, it's more about your function. It's how your glucose is functioning, not so much numbers here, numbers there.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, that's totally right. And I think actually, I have the feeling, at least it's a bit guessing, that if I weren't a type 1 diabetic, but on this carnivore diet, I would also be like cruising around 100, 110. Yeah. But I'm injecting insulin, so sometimes my insulin levels are also higher than physiological. So I might be lower actually than my body wants to be sometimes.
And I mean, I reached out to Bart K early on in my carnivoreness because that was the thing. Exactly what happened. My HbA1c shot up. But it was sort of false because now it's back down. But it's just a regulation thing with red blood cells. And when you start to realize that all these things are based on what? These tests are based on, are they based on health? Are they based on diagnosing a disease? You see how your blood glucose, and Mark says this all the time, how do you feel? If you're going through sluggish crashes and energy weirdness and irritable moods, that could be a blood sugar problem. Like regardless of where the numbers are, that's a good sign that there's something going on. So I think it's always contextual. And the beautiful thing about having you, Peter, is that if we could all manage our blood glucose like Peter, because he has to use insulin, we'd be a lot better off because he's
100%. Yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and maybe I'll talk about this a bit more. But this graph here, I started about 2 hours before this live show. I asked ChatGPT to build me some software so I only gave him my glucose values of the last year, and he built software for me to generate these plots and make these statistics. So if you ask the right questions to AI, you can build software like this, but also in terms of health tools, like if you want to do things, biohacking or data hacking for your health, it can be really a wonderful tool.
Yeah. And I mean, Helix is mentioning, like, when I started this stuff too, like I was chasing my numbers. Well, I wasn't tracing my numbers. I was tracking my numbers. I was tracking my glucose every day. And I wasn't using a CGM. I was pricking the old school, man. I pricked my finger 17 times a day, taking my ketones and all that stuff. And when I realized that, yeah, okay, to get a grasp of it, it's one thing, to track it is another thing, but it's how I feel. And now, like, people don't realize the more efficient your body is, it will settle down into a zone right away. When we change and shock the body, it's going to be all over the place. It takes some time to get into a groove. And over time, your body gets more efficient at using ketones. So people go, I'm not in ketosis. Well, what is nutritional ketosis? And you know what I mean? So those numbers actually come down. It's like the P tests. They stop working because your body's using the ketones. So you're not spilling them out. Right. And it's really important to, like, a lot of it is, you know, like we've been saying on this, is definitely how you feel first and foremost. And then if you have questions like let's reach out. Anybody has blood sugar questions, reach out to Peter, man. This is his life depends on him knowing this stuff. So, you know, that's huge.
Yeah. And by the way, about this allulose, I mean, I'm not suggesting that everybody should use it now. I mean, type 1 diabetics might be a good, interesting idea to look at it. Try to decide if it's something for you. And I did advise it also to somebody that I know personally, that she is struggling with maintaining weight as well. And well, if you are already using sweeteners, then by all means replace stevia or monk fruit or whatever you're using with this allulose. And there are a lot of type 1 diabetics, well-known diabetics in our low carb sphere that are using it as well. So I'm really confident that there's potential in this. Yeah. There's really some good research on it as well.
And Lisa's asking, how is allulose on the gut? Well, I think that's very user specific. I mean, I had a friend of ours who's a chef made a bunch of ice cream for me on my birthday. And she made it with allulose because she got it from the States, and it was a thing. If I ate too much of it, I didn't feel the greatest. But it was like, what's too much? Well, to me, like over a pint of ice cream, I mean, that's arguable too much anyway. But it seems to, with me personally, I get headaches if I eat too much monk fruit or erythritol. I can't deal with stevia. I get I just feel with stevia. But the allulose, I felt good until a certain point, and then it kind of got meh. So, I mean, I think
I think the thresholds are higher for allulose, but for me, it's like a teaspoon, or at most 2.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you're gonna notice it straight away. Straight away. Yeah. So if you've been a carnivore for a while, and then you add this in, and you let's say you add in like a small teaspoon, and a couple of hours later you're fine, well then then there's no issues there, you're fine. But if you start adding more, you're going to notice it straight away. Yeah. It's like instant. Do you ever notice that when you add something into your diet that you shouldn't, you notice it within an hour? Within an hour.
For sure. And I think
with MCT oil, for example, I notice it immediately. It's not natural. I mean, although it's keto, but
do you notice if you go overboard on the MCT? I can't remember what I did one time with the coffee. I put in 2 tablespoons. I was like, I want a better jolt. Well, I got it jolted right to the washroom.
Well, I didn't have that problem, but it gave me the worst stomach cramps ever.
Yeah.
With this, it can happen as well, but I think you have to go really far. But it makes no sense anyway to use more than like a teaspoon, I think.
And I think it's important, Peter, because like you made a very, very good point. It's important to experiment on yourself. Like we all advocate like the carnivore diet, but the most important thing is longevity. Like if you're happy and you're experimenting things and it's making a difference to your life, who gives a shit? If you're happy doing it, just do it.
It's a cost-benefit scenario. I mean, the benefit is really huge here.
And I think like a point a lot of people miss out on is, why are you doing this? Are you doing this to replace sugar because you can't live without it? There may be a weaning period. There may be a place for it. But if you're just, because I did this when I started keto, I was like, okay, I'm making keto donuts, keto cheesecake, keto this, keto that. I felt like shit. I felt headaches. And then I realized, why am I doing this? The idea is to not need this food. And then, so if it's getting you through something, I'm all for it. Especially if you're ridiculously sugar addicted, you may have to wean off.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and to make sure you know about that situation, because we've mentioned this before. Like if there's a problem there, you're able to pick it up straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. Okay, this is taking over my life. I can feel that addiction coming back. This is gonna be a major problem. But like I said, the way Peter's doing it now, he's able to control that situation.
And it's an experiment.
He's in full control of that situation. And I don't have. I've always said I don't have any issues with that. I only have an issue if it gets to a point where it just takes over your life.
Yeah. No, but that's interesting. So far, I actually noticed nothing like sugar cravings. I mean, I truly appreciated the taste of this egg shake that I make in the morning. But for the rest, like when I eat a steak, I take a small cup in which I put a teaspoon of this allulose, and I lick it up, but next to a steak, and it really means nothing to me.
Yeah, Peter's gonna start snorting allulose, right? What's that straw for? No, that's another show. But
but I think that's a good sign. I mean, everybody likes sweet things, and when there's a Christmas dinner and you can eat, I would suggest if you eat something like I don't know, an egg-based dessert with some butter and this stuff and some vanilla, and you make a nice dessert during Christmas dinner.
What's the problem?
Who doesn't like the taste?
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
To say that we hate sugar, I mean, it's not like our taste buds don't like sugar.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the whole problem.
And the thing is, Peter, like whether we like it or not, we are all addicts because we come from that carbohydrate lifestyle. So it's never going to be eliminated full stop. It's always going to be there in the background. Like, don't get me wrong. I would love to have the treats that I used to have, but if I can somehow replace that with something that's going to taste just as good, and it's not going to have an impact on my blood sugars, and it's not going to set me off, then you can be damn sure I'm going to be all over it.
Yeah,
all over it.
And that is the key point there. What happens when you do this? What does it lead you into? You know, if you're battling with like, you know, as soon as you get that sweet taste in your mouth, you're going to 7-Eleven or a shop and you're buying a bunch of stuff, and you got to look at it realistically, right? That's not a good thing. But if it's helping you get through certain things and
exactly,
you know, like, man, it's true.
Well, that's what I always say when you are treating a hypoglycemia, you have to eat something.
Yeah.
Always treat it as a medicine. So I'm using this as a medicine. It's really a medicine. So if I'm starting to suddenly eat 20 grams of it during a meal, I know that I'm doing something different than just medical treatment. It's the same with hypoglycemia. If you start to eat orange juice, drink orange juice, or eat a donut or your favorite snack to compensate hypoglycemia, you're
it's only when
cheating.
Exactly, and then that's when insulin becomes chronic, and then that's when you have a serious problem.
You're chasing things, right? That's not.
That's completely different. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I think we're gonna have to do the 7 lies next week. We got into it with both things. So next week, guys, I promise we're going to get into 7 lies that red meat has been told. I have this idea of the segment, but I'm not going to interrupt a good thing. I think today was awesome, man. Mark, man, it was just wild and mind blowing how you went on this radio and where this conversation went to, because I would fail to say that that's every carnivore's nightmare, is they can't defend themselves and get their point across fully, completely, without being sidelined by ridiculousness. Like just, man, and it's wild to see that we're all victim of this sometimes, where
you guys know me a long time now. I'm not one to be silenced.
No,
seriously.
But that's where they have these tactics. And if you look at somebody on the other spectrum, like Dr. Nagra, he's like an expert debater. So he knows how to strawman, circumvent issues in order to like put the topic completely offline. And I watched that with Anthony Chafee. It was ridiculous. You know what I mean?
And I watched it as well. And it was just, the argument he was putting up was just shockingly bad. Shockingly bad.
Yeah.
And as I said, this is what we're up against.
Yeah.
Because we have all this technology in the world. We can go on to Google, we can go on to ChatGPT, and we can see all this shit. And then this is what you're up against. Okay, this study says this. okay, the research says you come on a live chat with me, that's fair enough, but I'm gonna have all this data in front of me. What's wrong with just having a conversation one-on-one?
Yeah.
Forget about all that shit that you're looking on. Let's just have an open debate, just you and me.
And if anybody wants to come on the show or knows anybody that wants to come on the show and talk to us about it, like, we're not going to attack them. It's not about that. We want to.
I've always said this. If anybody comes on and has a live debate,
if you still hear it, Dr.
Yeah,
I'll
put my hands up and say, listen, fair play to you for coming on.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be one of those people that are going to nail you. Yeah. Like I want to hear what you have to say. And like I said last week, I think I said this last week. Why can't we not just all come together and try and solve the problem together?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it all comes to. We all want the same thing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you why. Because big corporate, big pharma, big ag.
Because these people are, you can be damn sure these people are getting paid.
Did you say big ag, Tony?
No. Big food, big pharma, big industry, corporations. I don't know if it's big ag. I don't know if they're using big ag. That's what they're blaming. That's what they're blaming the food guidelines on. That the dairy farmers and the ranchers are paying off everybody. It's like, who has the money?
Yeah. And we definitely need to touch on the GLP-1 with Oprah Winfrey. This has been huge. This is going all over the world. She's selling her own book. And this is why she does it.
We can. I don't mind.
Well, I don't mind. I can stay for another 15, 20 minutes, but I think this is huge. This has been the biggest story of last week.
All right. Well, and we'll see how this goes, and then
everybody in the chat also fine with it.
Yeah. How's it?
Yeah. I mean, let's just put the video up. We'll all have our say on it, and then we can wrap it up.
Let's do it.
All last year, and I gained 20 pounds because I wanted to test it, because everybody was saying you're going to gain the weight, and I'm going to show them they're not going to gain the weight. I'm going to hike. I'm going to blah, blah, blah.
So you were taking it, and then you got off of it.
And then I was taking it, then I got off of it. And then I gained 3 pounds, and I gained 5 pounds, and I gained 10 pounds, and before you know it.
But also, you write about this, you gained the pounds, but more than that, the noise was back.
The noise was back. The noise of where you're just standing there looking at the refrigerator and what can I eat? And so I was trying to eat more healthily, but still put the weight back on. If you're on blood pressure medication, which a lot of people are on blood pressure medication, if you stop your blood pressure medication, your blood pressure is going to go up. The same thing is true.
Okay, that right there, that pisses me off. Why is your blood pressure high in the first place?
Exactly.
What a stupid. Oh, that really bothers me.
And see, this, and it all comes down to the same thing. No matter what diet you're doing the same fucking thing. You're on a low-calorie diet. You're restricting your body from the nutrition your body needs. You're only focusing on a low-calorie diet. The main problem is you need to understand, why are you always thinking about these foods? Why all of a sudden has this phrase food noise just all of a sudden just came out in the last couple of years?
Yeah.
This has been going on for years. The reason why many people struggle when they go on a diet is because they can't stick to it. Why do you think they can't stick to it? It's because they're constantly hungry. They're miserable. They're miserable. And they're thinking that, okay, well, there's something wrong with me. This is a medical problem. I need to be on these injections. But when you explain to them, okay, this is not a medical problem. The problem is very, very simple. Your insulin is very, very high all the time. You're never allowing it to drop. Now, can we do this through like a diet? We can do this through low carbohydrate, keto, or the carnivore diet. All three of them will help. But we all know, if you do the carnivore diet, you're going to eliminate the problem, full stop. It's gone. You don't have to worry about it anymore. The food noise is gone. The cravings are gone. You're able to get in shape once you start tracking your macros the right way. Everything works perfectly. And you don't have any side effects whatsoever. So the thing about it is, when she says she lost the weight, we all know we can lose weight on any diet.
Yeah.
But what happens? You lose the weight. And then a month later, what happens? You put the weight back on.
And here's something, Mark. Okay, because this is a big problem too. Is Oprah is laissez-faire, like, oh well, I just lost 3, then I put it back on, like it's no big deal and it's all good. Like, this drug is awesome. I have a client right now who is doing things the right way. All her friends, and they're in their 60s, are dropping pounds like wildfire on injections. And my client is watching them, and thank the Lord that she's listening to me. And I'm like, you don't understand how dangerous that is. You're doing it the right way, slowly, with nutrition and like the framework of your diet. Your friends are putting in a cheat code that they have no idea the future ramifications and the repercussions. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, they come off that drug and they still eat the shit that they're eating. It's going to go very, very bad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I have a problem with.
And we need to look at what obesity is. In my opinion, obesity is a food addiction problem. That's where I see the problem. It's never going to be a calorie issue. It's never going to be. Never going to be a medical issue. It's a food problem.
Because you're messing with your hormones.
You're addicted. You're addicted to something, and everybody's convinced it's just processed food. Eliminate the processed food, and you're going to solve all your problems. If that's the case, then why do many people that still go on these healthy diets fail?
Yeah.
And remember this also. We have all these amazing apps, the phones, the watches that calculate all these calories, right? But we still have a major problem in the world of obesity. Think about that for a second.
Mark, you know why? Because apps don't eat for you.
No.
ChatGPT does not do the diet for you. ChatGPT does not live your life. So
exactly.
Do it, right?
And the thing is, you can track the food that when you look at the food that you take in, you can probably track that. But you cannot track energy output. You can't. No. You can. So you like all the calories. Everybody's BMR is completely different. Yeah. I'm probably burning more energy than you guys right now because I'm quite active. I lead a quite active lifestyle. Or Peter's probably burning more because he's in cycling.
Bigger.
So yeah, you know what I mean. So it like you have to factor that all. So it's not when people say it's all about energy in versus energy or calories in versus calories out. It's complete and utter rubbish.
But I would argue even that if it were possible to track calories exactly, that it's still not going to work. And you'll probably agree with that. But the whole thing is that if you cannot lead an intuitive lifestyle, I mean, I explained half an hour ago that I cannot do that with insulin either. For me, I'm like this, so I cannot even do that for a small part of the day. But some people are very good at it, but they will always fail at some point. So at least that 5 or 10% of the time, the day off or the weekend, where you're not able to do it consistently and be disciplined, you will fail.
Yeah. And you have to understand also, there's a massive difference between losing weight and losing body fat. You will never lose body fat if insulin is always high, because you're blocking the body's ability from burning fats. That's a fact. Yeah. That's too much sugar in the blood. You are not going to burn fats. Yeah. I don't care who you are. Now, can you go on a low calorie diet and play with it and try and get short-term results? Of course you can, but again, it's a short-term result. It's never long-term. Yeah. Why is it someone like me who doesn't track calories at all? I've been doing this for 6 years. 6 years now. I'm actually eating more than my maintenance calories, but I'm still walking around.
I love the bloody meat mark all day. You can't do that. What are you telling
You know what I mean? And then when you try and explain this to people that I'm only 5'3", my maintenance calories, if I go by the logic and go by what the experts say, I should be only eating 2,000 calories a day, roughly, something like that. Guys, I'd be fucking starving.
Yeah, maybe you are going to the farms and eating the cows.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'd be miserable. So there's no way. I can tell you right now, I'm eating double the amount of food that I should be consuming on a daily basis. And I can put my pictures up tomorrow. I look pretty well for my age, and I look really, really. I'm walking around with a 6-pack. I don't have any more inflammation, and I can put away a lot of food very easily.
That's the key to everything, man, is eating with intuition to what makes your body feel good. And like we put these numbers and labels on everything, but who the hell am I to tell Peter after a cycling trip how much protein that he needs to eat, let alone requires,
exactly.
If he doesn't feel good or needs more, so be it. Like,
I don't even know it. I never thought about it. I just eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see that's another big myth as well. Again, the protein myths. Yeah. You can only have a small amount of protein because if you put too much in your body, this is going to lead to kidney failure. Complete and utter rubbish. Because again, I've experimented this on myself.
Yeah.
I've experimented eating like 400 grams of protein a day, and I had no issues on my body whatsoever. None. And
If
when
these
we
things, if it were unhealthy, your body would have mechanisms to prevent you from eating it.
Can I just add one more point as well? Just one more point. The most important macronutrient, I don't care what anybody else expert tells you on social media, is protein. It's not fats. Protein is the building block for your body.
Foundationally, protein.
There's more nutritional value in protein.
Well,
than
it's
there is in
what we're
fats.
made of. That's the difference. If you're not eating what you're made of, well, you're a Jenga tower and it's going to fall eventually.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
So I think we can get into another couple hours here, boys. So we'll have to reel Mark in, because next week it's funny what we're just talking about. I got a couple questions that we're going to get into next week about busting these bullshit myths. And I think everything changes when you're nourished. You know, I think that's a big thing. So anyway, next week we're going to get into 7 Lies. If something pops up in the news, if anybody in the chats either want to come and visit and hang out, we'd love to see you. And we just did another sit down live with Al Reeves on Thursday. Go check it out, man. If you're anybody who's looking, man or woman, wants to get into shape, this guy he's wow, a fantastic physique. And he's been doing low carb, keto, carnivore 10 plus years. He's the real deal. He's 52 and looks amazing. But we're going to get into a lot more of that stuff. If anybody in the chats wants to come on and hang out, we're always welcome to have that. We'll do a show where people come, and we like your engagement. We appreciate it. Peter, anything, any last words for you and last thoughts, and where do people find you?
No, I want to say to Oprah, eat meat and some allulose. Eat meat and allulose. That's your solution. But no, nothing else. If you want to know more about allulose and other stuff, diabetic related, then go to Low Carb Perspective on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And hopefully in the future, Facebook and those things. I've got to work on that, but
yeah, you'll get there, buddy. He's doing good, man. And Mark?
No, I have nothing else to say. I think Peter wrapped it up pretty much right there.
Okay.
Another great show. Pleasure, guys, as always. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on social media. Just look me up on it's Fitness Beyond Time 01. You'll find me on all platforms. And if you want to reach out to me, it's nsmark93@gmail.com. And I know Tony's going to mention it. We also have our own podcast. It's called Carnivore Evolution. Victoria will kill me if I don't mention it. Yeah. We have regular guests every week. We'll have a few guests this week. We're going to be the lady that was actually on the start of the show. She's going to be coming on to this show very, very soon. Her name is Jessica. Very, very powerful story. I would highly recommend you guys, if you get a chance, go on to Carnivore Evolution and listen to it. But she's coming on very, very soon. She's going to be interviewed. And yeah, there's plenty of things in the pipeline. There's some exciting things coming up. So watch this space.
Nice. So, and also, guys, I want everybody in the chats, if you're still here, go to the Carnivore Community Worldwide on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. They're on Instagram, but we're trying to get their YouTube channel beefed up, and they can use our support on YouTube. It's, whatever social media platform you're on, support the Carnivore Community Worldwide. It's us. It's people that are having conversations, great conversations with real people, real stories, a little bit more loose, and just hanging out and talking meat and fat and lifestyle. Great talks. Go support them on Instagram and YouTube. Also, please go and subscribe to Carnivore Evolution on YouTube as well. Victoria and Mark, they do a great job about getting people. Victoria is an absolute sweetheart. We love you, Victoria. And, their Facebook group, Carnivore After Age 40. It's all about this now because, I have a funny feeling in the future we're going to get more divided. Unfortunately, things are changing, or fortunately, things are changing, but I believe it's going to get a lot more divided, and it's good to have people together talking about this stuff that matters. And we do appreciate you guys being here every week on Sunday at the Meat of the Matter. We are live every Sunday here at 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and in Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands. We are trying to get this message across. If you have any ideas for what you want to hear us talk about or want to join in the conversation, reach out to us. And if you want to reach out to me, you can find me at TonyStewartCoaching.com or TonyStewart_food for thought at all social media platforms. Support Peter, support Mark. Come hang out with me. We appreciate you all. We love you. We'll see you next Sunday when we go. We're going to do the 7 lies next Sunday, boys.
See you soon.
Have a good one.
See you.